Hi guys, from this video I will write one small example to describe the authorization code flow. In my previous video we already discussed client credentials approach. If you take this diagram, so now the client is trying to get the token from authorization server with the help of resource owner. So this is how the authorization code flow will work. So let's describe this flow by using Postman collections, and later I can show you the same with the Java code as well. Let's see this server part authorization. So server part is ready. It's running in 8080 port, and if you come to my test realm, there is a username called test1. It's up and running. So this part is ready. Now let's go to the client. Client is taking the help of resource owner for getting the token. So I want to describe for Postman for describing the client. So this is the Postman. It can act like a client for communicating to the authorization server. For getting the token by using authorization code flow, we needed two endpoints. I will show you this endpoints, get and post. These two endpoints are useful for getting the token from authorization server. So see the get first. This is the URL, like up to here. This is the get endpoint what, and if you take the parameters, so these three are the mandatory parameters need to be passed. Response type, it's a code. Client ID, and client ID we can get it from the authorization server. Redirect URL, we need to provide the valid redirect URL for landing after successful login. If you want to land a particular page, so that URL need to be mentioned here. And if you go to the Postman, so there is a same like the first approach. If you go here, client credentials approach, we have the, if you take this is the first one, client ID, client secret, grant type, client credentials. But at this time, if you go here, grant type is authorization code. So this indicates there is a browser based user, and we need to redirect some landing page that user need to be login. So it can understand that flow by adding this property. Client ID, client secret, it's a comment, and redirect URL we are providing here. And there is one more property called code. So this is very important. This code actually getting from the previous get call. If you see the get call, if you call this, I want to call this get in a browser for time being. It's redirected to the login page because this is authorization code flow. Just enter username and password. Let me sign in. So I don't have a valid landing page because I'm showing the flow in Postman collections. Let me copy this into Notepad for getting the code out of it. If you see somewhere in the response, there is a variable called code. We need to copy this and go to Postman, and there is a Postman call for getting the token. So this is the authorization code flow, and there is a property code. We need to enter the value here. Now if I send this request, Oh, what happened? Let me regenerate it once again. Oh, sorry. V9, I think it's the same. Let me go here. What is wrong in it? Let me use a different browser. Okay, let me copy this. We got a different code here. Yes. Go to Postman. There is a property here. Yes, it's working. We successfully got the token. So simply what I can say, if you go to the authorization code flow, we have a we need to use get and post call for getting the token. If you call the get first, it will give you a response like this. In the response, there is one more area. There is a code property. Copy this value, and this you can paste it into the second post call. So these are the common values. Secret grant type is authorization code flow. Need to provide the redirect URL for landing page, and so that code need to be passed here, and so that you can get the token. So this token you can use it for making a secure endpoint calls. Now let's see how this get and post can be managed by some Java clients. Take one example. If you see here, I want to first run this application. Later I can show you what is the configuration part with Jet. So this is the controller. After running this application, I want to call this album, but this is already protected by some a resource server. We need to provide the proper token for making a call. Let's see how Java client can help to call this endpoint. go here. Okay, now it started in 8087 port. Let me go to, so before this, let me clear the browser history. I want to delete all the cookie information. Okay, so now localhost 8087 album. So this is a browser based UI I am trying to, let me call it. It's redirected to the login page. So there I want to enter my credentials. So let me sign it. Okay, now successfully redirected to the album page after login. So this is what we call a redirect URL. If you provide the valid redirect URL, it automatically redirect like this. So I did not use any Postman collections for getting the token here. So there is a Spring Starter dependency Oauth client. So that is helping to get the to make a get call and post call for getting the token and use it internally for making a calls. Let me show you that configuration in the Java application. If you go here in the pom.xml file, so there is a Oauth client. So this actually helping to make a get and post call for getting the token and helping to provide the token to resource server. And once we provide this starter dependency, we need to provide some configured application.properties. So this information is mandatory here. So this information is just nothing but whatever the thing we are passing in the postman, the same we are passing it in the properties. So internally this starter will use this property for making a get and post call. If you go to the pom.xml file, so there is a starter dependency Oauth client. So this is helping at the to manage the client for getting the token and use it for making a secure endpoint calls. If you want to use this starter dependency, so there is a configuration in the application.property file. We need to provide this information. So this information is just nothing but the information what we are using in a get and post method call. So these are the client secret, grant type, redirect URL. The similar information we are providing in application.properties so that the starter dependency will take this property hell to make that get and post call to provide the token.